Welcome back, everyone, to another All Sports Culture YouTube video. After a crazy 2 days of March Madness, or I guess 4 days, 2 rounds technically, we're back with another video. I'm going to be reacting to the first and second round of March Madness. 16 teams remain, and wow. I mean, it was crazy. One of the craziest tournaments we've seen in a while. So many upsets. I can't wait to be breaking down all the games with you. So make sure you guys are liking, subscribing. Make sure you guys are following up to date, watching all the YouTube videos, and following us on Instagram at All Sports Culture. Before we get started, though, I want to tell you guys about MyBookie. March is here and the madness has officially begun. It's time for you to shoot your shot and score big on the nonstop action with MyBookie. Select the winners from 63 tournament games in the MyBookie bracket contest for a chance at $10,000 in cash prizes, and it's only $1 to enter. It doesn't matter whether you're filling out multiple brackets, betting the national championship winner, or simply looking for player and game props. MyBookie has you covered. Sign up today at mybookie.ag and use promo code ASC to secure a deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code ASC to claim your first deposit bonus. College ball, NBA, and NHL, no matter the sport, no matter the minute from tip-off to buzzer, MyBookie puts the action in your hands with its in-game live betting. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. But yeah, with that, let's get into it. So, Virginia Tech, Florida. Honestly, this is like the game that I love the most out of the March Madness so far, and obviously you're gonna ask why. First game, I was like sitting on my couch. I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch March Madness for like 9 or 10 hours straight, and this was like the perfect start to March Madness. Florida, I think they were favored in this game, but so many people took Virginia Tech, including me, and valued what they did in the ACC early on in the year. And when they hit that buzzer beater to go to overtime, I was like screaming. I was like, my bracket's still alive, let's go. Florida won the game, though. What a game it was. So much fun. And a deserving win for Florida. I mean, they proved it in overtime. They were the better team. They shot the ball well. They could get to the rim. A lot of things they did well. So massive respect to them. We'll get into what they did in the second round. But it was a good, solid win for a team that a lot of people didn't think could beat Virginia Tech, and they did. So massive props to them. Colgate, Arkansas. A lot of people thought that this Colgate team was going to upset Arkansas. But Arkansas, I mean, I've been talking about it all year. You saw my bracketology videos. You've seen my March Madness prediction video. Arkansas is one of the best teams in the country. They've been playing so well in the SEC. This isn't a fluke Arkansas squad. I think it's the first time they've been to the Sweet 16 since 1996. So it's been a while. You obviously saw what they did in the 80s and the 90s, being a dominant Arkansas squad. And they're back. They're in the Sweet 16. They're deserving of that. I won't obviously talk too much about the second round performance, but against Colgate got up early, and I think Colgate, if they got matched against another 3 seed, obviously Texas, we'll get into Texas, but Colgate proved they could beat a lot of teams in this tournament, and I just think they kind of got unlucky. Second half was not going their way. They could not stop Arkansas offensively, especially in that second half. So massive props to the Razorbacks. They head to the second round. Drexel, Illinois. Illinois, Kofi Cockburn just played unbelievable this game. He was getting to the rim so easily. A pretty team-oriented performance by them, not one singular guy. I know I just shouted out Kofi Cockburn, but a team-oriented win. Drexel wasn't much of a problem for them, so I won't talk long about this one. No 16-over-1 seed upsets, even though we wish we saw that, but good win for Illinois. Utah State, Texas Tech. It's annoying because I had Utah State winning, and I was saying how I think Utah State was one of the most underrated teams in the Mountain West. I think just not necessarily the Mountain West, but the whole country. I thought Utah State was going to get a win against Texas Tech, and in the first half, it looked like it was going that way. Don't know the exact score, something like 26-25 at half. Utah State was winning. I was feeling confident. They were shooting the ball really well to start the game, but then Texas Tech found their rhythm offensively as the second half went on. Matt McClung was doing his thing, showing why he's just one of the best players and most exciting players to watch in the country. And this Utah State team, they don't turn the ball over. They didn't turn the ball over a lot during the regular season, but this game, it was just Texas Tech just matched them defensively, knew how to handle them, forced so many turnovers, and I wasn't expecting that out of Utah State. So I got to give credit to Texas Tech. They got a deserving win. Utah State, like I've been saying, is no slouch, so massive credit. All right, Oral Roberts and Ohio State. I had Ohio State in my Elite Eight. I think a lot of people did. I was loving Ohio State early on. The first ever bracketology video I made, if you guys are OG fan and watched that. Ohio State at the time was one of my favorite teams. They had a lot of Quadrant 1 wins. They were beating quality teams. Then they kind of fell off a little bit. They lost to Iowa. They lost to Michigan. You were concerning if they're really a dominant team. You know, a lot of people were saying be hesitant to put them in their Final Four. At this point, be hesitant to put them in your round of 32. I mean, oh my goodness. Oral Roberts, though, as a 15 seed, it's like they're so much better than a 15 seed. One of the best offensive teams in the country. I mean, they shoot the ball, the three-point especially, at an elite level. And that went, and you saw that with Ohio State. Ohio State, it sucks because they had such a great year. And I was saying I don't want people to discredit Ohio State because of their past undominated. I'm trying to think of the word to use, but they obviously have not shown up a lot in recent years in the NCAA tournament. And I didn't want people to discredit them because of that reason only, but it seems like it's a problem. Ohio State, we wish they won. Actually, we don't, because Oral Roberts was super fun. I'm glad they got the win. A 15 seed over 2. I mean, no one cheers for Goliath. Everyone cheers for a good underdog story. And Oral Roberts, we'll be talking about him more as the video goes on, but great win for this Oral Roberts squad against Ohio State. And it was deserving as well. They competed with them the whole game. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Hartford, Baylor. Baylor just dominated them. I love Hartford as a 16 seed. I thought that they would keep it the closest out of any 16 over 1 seed. I don't know if they did. I don't think they did. But Baylor's just unbelievable. Loyola, Chicago, Georgia Tech. I picked this game way before the injury. Moses Wright of Georgia Tech. I picked Georgia Tech. But obviously, what am I saying? Injury. COVID concern with Moses Wright. I picked Georgia Tech to win. When that happened, I changed it to Loyola. But Georgia Tech, what they do defensively is just so fun to watch. And you saw that very early on against Loyola. They got off to a good lead. Loyola really couldn't get anything going. I mean, even Cameron Krutwig didn't even have that good of a game. It was more of just they were able to make perimeter shots in this game. Krutwig was not really scoring the ball in this game. He was more just being a force down low and distributing it to the players on the outside. He was doing a lot of touch passes. He was not... Obviously, he played much better in the Illinois game. But this Georgia Tech team, I love. They're well coached. This Georgia Tech squad, it obviously was going to take a while for them to actually be dominant. They won the ACC. Hell of a season for Georgia Tech. And you got to give all the credit in the world to them. And Loyola, I want to say, is not a Cinderella team. They are a legit squad. I don't want people to use the term Cinderella with them because of the run they made. However, 2018? They're a legit squad. Oregon State over Tennessee. Did not see this coming whatsoever. I'll be the first to tell you. Tennessee looked... I don't know what it was. They looked dead. Offensively, they just didn't... It almost looked like they didn't want to be there. And I don't want to say that because Tennessee... I don't want to be I don't want to discredit them because they had such a good regular season, but Oregon State was just playing with so much more energy. And obviously Oregon State, I mean, they were nowhere at one point in the Pac-12, and the run they went on to end the year to win the Pac-12 tournament, to get into the tournament and beat Tennessee, so much credit goes to Oregon State, and I didn't expect that to happen, but it happened. Liberty, Oklahoma State. I knew Liberty was a good team. Obviously, you look at Liberty kind of every year and you think to yourself, they're capable of pulling off an upset or at least a first-round upset. But I was like, no, Oklahoma State, Cade Cunningham, I've talked about that, the round of 16 game I thought we'd see between Oklahoma State and Illinois. It didn't happen. We'll get there, though. But this Oklahoma State team didn't play well. Liberty played kind of with them the whole game. Cade was not playing well the first half. He really stepped it up the second half. And this Cowboy squad, after this game, I was concerned because it's like they were playing so well. in the Big 12 tournament to end the year, and you're like, they got to be dominant. They got to be really good in this tournament, at least put up some sort of fight. And not to say they played awful against Liberty, but it was definitely a concerning game. 9-point victory, so you can't be too upset with that. But Liberty, I think, played pretty well. I got to give credit to them. They always keep it tough between teams. Wisconsin UNC, talk about a team that didn't really keep it close. UNC, man, I loved them. Anyone who watched the video knew that I almost had them over Baylor. But, I mean, it's a shame what happened with them. Wisconsin just outplayed them from the start. There's not much I have to say about that. UNC was weird because they ended the year so well, and then you just go into this Wisconsin game and you're expecting to win. I thought they were going to I thought if you flip the UNC-Wisconsin score, I wouldn't be surprised. That's why it's so surprising to me that Wisconsin won by such a wide margin. So, respect to Wisconsin, a legit squad. They were very inconsistent in the Big Ten, but they got to win against the ACC opponent. Cleveland State, Houston. Houston's really good. Defensively, they can do a lot. Quentin Grimes, one of my favorite players in the whole country. Cleveland State was not much of a problem. We saw that this game. North Texas, Purdue. I know everyone's going to flame me. I already see the comments. I thought you had Purdue as a Final Four team, and I did. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I honestly think that Purdue, this just screams March Madness upset. North Texas over Purdue. I was thinking that before the game because obviously I'm cheering so hard for Purdue, and I was like, I had this gut feeling North Texas is going to win, and it's not going to be too surprising to people because it's just March. And that's exactly what happened. I should have known. Purdue is not a good tournament team as we've seen in years prior. I mean, you look back to the Carson Edwards, and they were great under him, but not when Carson Edwards is not on the roster. They're not that good in the tournament play, which is surprising. So, North Texas, this game went to overtime. I was really hoping that Purdue would get in overtime. They crawled all the way back to tie the game up and to go to overtime, but North Texas just was the better team. Rutgers, Clemson. I had Rutgers winning this game. I thought Clemson was one of the most overrated teams heading into this tournament, and I was basically right. Rutgers actually played pretty well. It's weird. I think they played better against Houston, even though they lost. We'll get there, but massive respect to Rutgers. Syracuse over San Diego State. I got two words: Buddy Boeheim. I mean, have we seen a first half performance as good as Buddy Boeheim? We haven't. Syracuse, it doesn't matter if they're a low seed. I mean, they could be a double-digit seed, and they're going to compete in this tournament. And it's Jim Boeheim, for all we know. He's going to show up in this NCAA tournament. Love San Diego State heading into the tournament, but Syracuse, a whole nother level. It just does not matter. Don't bet against them. They're going to be fun. I think they can compete with Houston. I'm just saying that. Winthrop Nova, I kind of should have known. I was riding Winthrop the whole year. I picked Winthrop as an upset for every single one of my bracketology videos and then in my bracket prediction video. And the whole country thought Winthrop was going to win, which is a recipe for disaster when every single person thinks you're going to upset Nova. I should have known that Jay Wright does not lose when it comes to March. Doesn't matter how injured, obviously I'm referring to Colin Gillespie, or just how kind of overrated, as I like to say, this Nova squad is. They're going to compete. So massive respect to them. Winthrop played all right. But Villanova, they found a way to win. Got to give them credit. Morehead State, West Virginia. I had Morehead State winning. Sorry, I just had to throw in a 14 over a 3 seed. It's March. We sleep in May because it's March. But I was off with this one. What is that, a 17-point victory? Goodness gracious. Yeah, West Virginia's a good team. So, Georgetown, Colorado. I had Colorado win this game. Georgetown. I thought what happened to Georgetown would happen to Oregon State, where it's a 12 seed heading into the tournament. They're hot, but once they play a really good opponent, it's not going to work out. Colorado was lights out this game. Offensively, 96 points. You saw what they were doing to Patrick Ewing's defense with Georgetown, and it worked. And I was so high on Colorado. I talked about that. I think I had them losing to Florida State though in the next round. Don't know if I did, but after watching this, I remember saying to myself, they're beating Florida State. So confident. Didn't happen, but whatever. UNC Greensboro over Florida State. UNCG kept it close. I was very concerned about Florida State after this game. They didn't look all well. That's ultimately why I thought Colorado was going to beat them, and they didn't. We'll get there later, but Florida State did not look good in this game. Eastern Washington, Kansas. Again, Eastern Washington was winning for a majority of the first half, and they put up points. Kansas defensively was not good this game. Offensively, they had to get it done, and they did. And I said Bill Self's going to get a first-round win. He always does. You can't bet against him in the first round of an NCAA tournament. You'd be crazy to do so. But they didn't play all that well. Kansas, I don't hate them. I just didn't like them going into this tournament. They didn't do anything well. They had such an underperforming year. I was like, I don't think they're that good. So I picked Kansas, and they were, I got it right, but they didn't impress me all that well. LSU over the Bonnies. Loved this game from LSU. They won by 15. St. Bonaventure, I said, I don't care if they win by 2. It's a good win. St. Bonaventure is a very good squad. So LSU, we obviously know what they can do offensively. We saw that a little bit here against St. Bonaventure. So good credit to the Tigers for winning this game. Michigan over Texas Southern. Whatever. It's a 1/16. What do you expect? All right. California, Santa Barbara, Creighton. The problem was all of America picked California, Santa Barbara, and I did too. And I should have known that. That was a recipe for disaster as well. Creighton, I loved, then I hated, and then I was like on them heading into this tournament. They got a 1-point win, but if you're California, Santa Barbara, how do you not score on that, however much time was, 5 seconds or something? It was absurd, but Creighton got the win. Iona, Alabama. Alabama just was not shooting that well this game. Iona kept it close. Rick Pitino, I loved his comments. I don't know where I saw it. That was like, if University of Kentucky offered me their head coaching job, if Calipari somehow went to the NBA, I would be honored, but I would stay at Iona. No way he believes that. And you got to give him respect. He kept it close against Bama. Then Bama at the end just kind of faded away. Bama, we'll talk about them in the second round, but kind of close here. They didn't play incredibly well, but they're a dangerous squad. USC over Drake. I love USC. Both Mobley twins are just unbelievable. They can do a lot of things well. They're tall. They can shoot well. And this Drake team is no fluke. I know they played a game against Wichita State 2 days ago, and it's hard to play a playing game than a first-round game. But Drake kept it close. Massive respect. I know the 16 points won't really tell that, but it wasn't that USC just dominated them. I think Drake kind of made it competitive. So massive respect to both squads. And I feel like I've been saying massive respect about a lot of things, so I'm going to try and stop saying that. Iowa over Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon, I think Iowa and them kind of kept it close in the beginning. We'll talk about Iowa in the second round. I feel like the second round games, there can be more to talk about, even though there's less games. Iowa obviously was going to win this game, so I won't talk much about this game. Maryland, UConn. I will talk a lot about this game because I'm a Maryland fan. I said UConn. I thought UConn would win this game. The only thing, and this proved to be right, and I said this, if Daryl Morcell can lock down James Bouknight, Maryland was going to win the game. And they did. And a lot of perimeter shooting from Eric Ayala and Aaron Wiggins ultimately sealed the deal for Maryland. They played extremely well. They played against UConn 10 times. I think UConn wins 6 or 7. I just think Maryland played incredible, one of their perfect games all year. They weren't missing a lot. They were doing incredibly well defensively. Not much that UConn could do driving to the rim. So Maryland got the win. It was a good win for them. Ohio, Virginia. I predicted an Ohio upset, and we got it. Michael Brown, if you're watching this, you are the man. Make sure you guys check out that last YouTube video. We did an interview with Michael Brown. Awesome guy. One of the nicest people I've ever talked to in my life. Anyway, I was saying this Ohio team is very good. James Preston, he looked good against this game, or against Virginia in this game, but it was a lot that Ohio did. It was a team-oriented win, like I said, like I was talking about. I don't know who, whatever. I think I said that. Virginia, though, a lot of concern. it's tough to bet again, it's tough to bet with Virginia because they never really seem to do well in tournaments unless it's 2019. So, massive respect. Like I said, I just said that again. Why do I keep saying massive respect? Missouri, Oklahoma, and Missouri winning this game after, I can't, going blank on his name. That's terrible because obviously I'm like the college basketball guy at ASC, and I'm forgetting Oklahoma's player's name that got COVID and he didn't play. But anyway, Oklahoma won this game 72-68. I didn't expect this. Missouri was a good team. I've talked about how they're inconsistent, but when they're on, they're on. They weren't really on this game, so Oklahoma got the win. Norfolk State, Gonzaga, okay. UCLA, BYU. I thought BYU was going to win this game. BYU looked unbelievable against Gonzaga when they played them in the conference tournament, or conference championship to be specific. UCLA, though, you got to ride what they're doing. They beat a tough Michigan State team, and they beat them well. And then they just beat BYU by 11. UCLA, I talked about it. UCLA, for some reason, had very good odds to win the national championship heading into the year. And I was like, I don't know why they do. I wasn't really buying into the whole UCLA Bruins hype. And then now it's showing why I should have bought in. They're playing well. They're playing great basketball at the exact right time. This was weird. I feel so bad for VCU fans because you didn't play. And you obviously, it sucks because COVID's ruining March Madness again, and you don't want to see that, and it's good that it's only been one, but I really wish we could have saw that. I think Oregon would have won this game, but VCU, you never know. That's why it's the beauty of March Madness. Abilene Christian in Texas. Here's what makes me so upset. I was saying for the longest time, Texas is so overrated. Shaka Smart in the tournament, if you go back to his 2011 run with VCU, that's where he was super successful. And then with Texas, he just has not been that good. Regular season, obviously, has been good. He just won the Big 12 tournament. But Abilene Christian, I knew could upset them. Abilene Christian was a good squad. And you're going against an overrated Texas squad. But I had Texas in my Final Four. I wish I didn't. I knew it. I literally knew they were so overrated. And I was like, letting outside forces get into my head and tell me that Texas is actually legit. I should have just gone with my gut. Makes me so upset. Second round. Let's get it. Loyola Chicago over Illinois. I said it. Loyola Chicago is not a Cinderella team. I had Illinois winning the whole thing and they lost by 13 to Loyola. The Ramblers are legit. Cameron Krutwig played unbelievable this game. So much credit goes to him, but it was a whole dominated performance. Like it says, they held Illinois to 58 points, and Illinois is a fast-paced team who can do a lot on the offensive end with Ayo Dosunmu, Kofi Cockburn. They're great. So Loyola, they have the fourth best odds to win it now, and I'm not mad about that whatsoever. Wisconsin over Baylor. I think Wisconsin played fine this game. It was tough to go against Baylor. Baylor's one of the best teams in the country. They do so well defensively. Jared Harper is so fun to watch. Wisconsin, I don't think anyone had them really winning this game, and really keeping it close was going to be tough. So, it sucks for Wisconsin, but Baylor's going to be they're going to make the Final Four. I think they will. I don't know who they got next. I'm going blank. We'll figure that out. Syracuse, West Virginia. Buddy, I got two words. Buddy Boeheim. I'm going to say he's unbelievable. Syracuse, I kind of thought West Virginia screamed early round upset. I thought that it would come against San Diego State, but instead it came against Syracuse. So Syracuse is just playing unbelievable basketball. You got to give so much credit to them. West Virginia, it sucks because Bob Huggins is one of the best people ever. He's so fun. And Syracuse they beat them. I think they were really dominating from the middle of the game, and then in the beginning and the end is when West Virginia kept it competitive. So Syracuse got the win. Texas Tech, Arkansas. This game was very fun. Arkansas just beat them at the end. Texas Tech was really capable of winning this game, but Arkansas, like I've been saying, they're Sweet 16 bound for the first time since 1996. You got to enjoy that. You got to like when Arkansas is good at basketball, but it kind of sucks for Texas Tech. After seeing in 2019 them go to the Final Four, they fall off short. They can't even make the Sweet 16. So that sucks, but Arkansas, congrats on the win. Rutgers, Houston. Like I said, Rutgers, I think, played better this game than they did against Clemson, even though they lost. Houston's a tough team, and Rutgers easily could have beat them. If Houston, I mean, it was almost a choke job by Rutgers. Houston pulled away at the end and proved why they're a national championship contender, why they're Sweet 16 bound. So Houston's moving on. Rutgers, it kind of sucks. You know, some people had Rutgers upsetting Houston, and it looked like it could have been a good bet, but Houston don't have that hard of a path. They got Syracuse next. Let's see if... I know Syracuse on paper is an 11 seed, but they're playing like a 2 or 3 seed right now. So, you know, it should be a very good game. Oral Roberts, Florida. How do you not love Oral Roberts making the Sweet 16? I'm getting Florida Gulf Coast vibes. The thing is, what's funny is Florida Gulf Coast, after they beat San Diego State in the second round of whatever tournament it was, couldn't even tell you what year it was, but it happened a long time ago. They played Florida in the Sweet 16 and lost. So Florida beat a 15 seed, but now Florida lost to a 15 seed team. I don't think a lot of people were thinking about that, or a lot of analysts were bringing it up, but I think that's kind of cool. Oral Roberts, just offensively, they're so good. I don't get it. You're putting up 81 points. You're putting up a big number against Ohio State. I'm not going to scroll up and look what it was, but it was obviously a good number. I don't know who they got next. Maybe it'll say it down here. But Oral Roberts is actually a fun team. You kind of expect them to lose next round just because a 15 seed. I don't think a 15 seed's ever made the Elite Eight. We'll see if they can do it, though. I think if any 15 seed was going to do it, it'd be them. So we'll see. North Texas and Villanova. Villanova never getting a bet against Jay Wright when it comes to March. North Texas, they're Cinderella. The boot or the slipper. Why did I say boot? The slipper just couldn't fit anymore. So Villanova got the win. Oregon State, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State just didn't play well in this game. I'm going to be flat out with you. And Oregon State just dominated them on both sides of the ball. What's cool, though, I will say, Cade Cunningham, after the game, congratulated Oklahoma State's women's basketball team on advancing. He thanked the media for just covering him all year. He thanked just everyone. Cade Cunningham is an absolute amazing guy. I mean, it seems like it. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. He's loads of fun to watch. And whatever team he goes on, he's going to help that team significantly. Cade Cunningham is one of my favorite players, if you haven't noticed. And it's sad to see his Oklahoma State run end in the second round. But for Oregon State, the Beavers are playing, I mean, some absurd basketball. They are a team to watch in the Sweet 16 as a 12 seed. I love so many upsets. I love Syracuse. I love Oregon State. It's awesome. Oregon over Iowa. I watched this today as I'm recording it, and I was like, that both teams couldn't miss. Oregon, oh my goodness. Just, they were raining threes. And what's funny is Oregon's lineup, they're all 6'6". Chris Duarte is, I mean, what is he, a 3-time player of the year for the Pac-12? I think he is. Deserving of that. This Oregon team, I predicted Oregon over Iowa. So I'm really glad that I got that right. At least I got something right in this March Madness bracket. And Oregon, I'm sorry. I think they're a contender. They got the winner of, let's see, USC, Kansas, and USC just absolutely brought it to them. We'll get there, though. So they're going to play USC. We've seen that in the Pac-12. We have seen that in the Pac-12. That's going to be loads of fun to watch. I got Oregon winning the game. USC, they just manhandled Kansas, and I think a lot of people are going to take USC, but I love this Oregon team. They're very well coached. They got a lot of guys that can shoot. And they don't have the size. We saw that against Luka Garza. Luka Garza was just dominated them in the paint. But they can shoot and they can score. And while they aren't necessarily tall, they can still get to the rim. So, and massive respect to Luka Garza. I mean, best Iowa player ever. It sucks because so many people are just saying, like, his game won't translate. You know, he won't have an NBA career. And that kind of sucks because, like, you kind of have to agree with them. I understand where they're coming from. But whatever future endeavors you have, Luka Garza, I wish you the best of luck. And thank you for just being a necessity to college basketball. We needed someone like you. Oklahoma, Gonzaga. Oklahoma kept it close a little bit in the beginning. But Gonzaga just showed why they're the heavy favorites to win it all. Won't talk much about this because Gonzaga has so many guys that can score. They got like 4 top 10 players right now, 3, whatever it is. They're unbelievable. Abilene Christian, UCLA. UCLA is playing really good basketball. I just talked about that when they played BYU. It was no fluke. They had a game. They've won 3 tournament wins: Michigan State, BYU, Abilene Christian. This was the easiest game that they have had so far, which is funny because it's the latest game they've had. So don't sleep on UCLA. Please don't. They got Alabama next, I believe, and that'll be such a fun matchup to watch. We'll talk about Alabama when we get there. Ohio Creighton. I had Ohio winning this game. I had California Santa Barbara. They should have been here instead of Creighton if you make the tip in. But Creighton, Marcus Zagorowski is just proving why he's one of the clutchest players in college basketball. He's making threes from left to right. Creighton's going to be fun to watch. I like to see Creighton doing well. Kind of sucks that it kind of fell off the train. I mean, if they make the Final Four, you know well, then I'm going to go back to the first video I made and be like, I called it. They won't, though. LSU, Michigan. This was a fun game to watch. Michigan, a lot of people were underrating them for whatever reason. Like, everyone thought that this Michigan squad was like a 1 seed that not a lot of people believed in. And I didn't see why. Like, to me, Michigan was always a good team. Do I think they're not a national championship team? Probably not. I don't think they're going to get there. But, like, LSU, I mean, you think, here's my prediction, my analysis, and I hope you guys agree. They just are so much better than LSU. Like, LSU's defense against Michigan's offense, like, come on now. I mean, Michigan scored 86 points. Everyone saw this coming. And we knew LSU was going to put up a bunch of points, too. It was just, Michigan is just, I don't know. I think they're better than some people think they are. So I think they can at least go to the Elite Eight. Colorado, Florida State, I got this one wrong. Colorado played so bad this game, and it sucks because I love this Colorado squad. On the offensive side of the ball, they couldn't get anything going, scoring 20 points in the first half. Florida State just matched them well. They scored only 24 in the first half, then ran away with it in the second half. So, massive respect. Maryland, Alabama. My goodness, I never watched a game more in my life because I've paid more attention on Maryland games than any other game in this tournament just because I'm a Maryland fan. And it sucks that we're out, but we knew it happened. I've never seen a team like Alabama just dominate the perimeter more in my life. Alabama's the best three-point shooting team in the country. It's not even close. I guess Toledo and Oral Roberts could make a case, but it's just solely Alabama. Their coach was talking about it. Whatever his name is. Nate Oaks, that's his name. Knew I had it back in the mind somewhere. He was talking about it after the game. He was like, what we want us to do, the game plan is we want our guards to feel like they're free, to give them... He literally wants Alabama to shoot 33s a game, and it is working. They are making a lot of shots, and Maryland didn't even play that bad this game. It was just Alabama played unbelievable. A team that did play bad, though, was Kansas. USC just absolutely took it to them. Like I said, the Mobley twins, you can talk about them all day. This USC squad... Sam, if you're watching, I know you were high on them in our highlighted bracket that we made, and it looks like you're right. I think I had USC winning this game in the March Madness prediction video. I think I did. So I was right on that. USC, Oregon game to watch. So just previewing some of the games. Saturday, here's the slate. I'll just quickly say who I think is going to win. Loyola, Baylor, Arkansas, Syracuse, and then Gonzaga, Michigan, Bama, or Oregon. That's kind of who I think. Won't go much into detail because this video is already extremely long. But with that, thank you guys for watching. A lot of great games. Obviously, I couldn't go into too much in-depth analysis on each game. Just talked like 30 seconds to a minute on each game, so I was not wasting all your guys' time. But March Madness is here. We'll be posting more March Madness content as the tournament goes on. So thank you guys for your continuous support. And hey, let's sleep in May because it's March, baby. I'll see you guys next time.